Okay, good morning. I am on day 5 now of my fast, and I wanted to talk to you guys in this video blog about what that's like on day 5. So a lot of you have never fasted before. You can't imagine going one day, much less 5 days. So let me just tell you, I'm not dying. I don't feel weak or lightheaded or anything like that. I probably wouldn't go down to the gym and do a great big workout right now, but I do feel fine enough to go for a walk or to, ride a horse or ride a bike or any thing that doesn't involve a lot of severe muscle activity, heavy breathing. So I just want to talk to you briefly about exercise, and then I want to talk to you briefly about sleep, because I noticed that during my fast, sometimes I get a little bit of insomnia, usually in the first 1 to 3 days, sometimes in the second 3 to 6 days, but then it starts to even out. So just try to go with it if your body is not sleeping as well as it normally does. You're not as tired, likely, because you're not moving around as much, and you get a break from having to digest all that food. So you have a little extra energy left in your body. But I wanted to know what you're putting into your body. Oh, by the way, before we go into what's going in, let's just talk one more time about what's coming out. You may still be purging a little bit of solids, but mostly it's going to be water at this point coming through. And don't worry about that. You're probably drinking a lot more water than you used to. And I would highly encourage that, because instead of food, you can give yourself a lot of clean water to drink. And by clean water, that's the topic mostly I want to tell you about today. Most people drink water out of their tap, or some other source in their house, maybe a well, but they've never tested the water to see how many parts per million of dissolved solids there are in the water, and whether there's any bacteria or anything like that in your water system. So you can buy a little water tester online, or you can just clean your water. Hold on. Excuse me. Another side benefit of cleaning your body is that you might sneeze a little, and you might get some itches on your skin, just because a lot of toxins are coming out through your skin. It's your largest organ, but we clean also through our respiration and our perspiration and our urine. And so don't be worried if those things seem a little amped up. But again, let's get back to what you put in your body. So if you don't know if you have clean water, you might want to get a little water tester and then check it out. And if you aren't sure, don't have a water tester, you might want to just get a water filtration system if you don't have one already. You can get a small little kit like a Brita pitcher that you can usually get in most grocery stores. They don't always work that well. So I have what is known as a water distiller that I keep on my counter at home. I use a brand called Mega Home. And it goes through a steam process to leave all of the solids in the container where I put the water in initially, and then it sends the steamed air out to drip into a glass pitcher. And they use glass because a lot of plastic pitchers contain BPAs, which are small plastic chemicals that can leach into your body through the water that sits in them. So the BPAs leach into the water through the plastic walls of the bottle, and then that BPA gets into your system. So you might consider using glass bottles to store your water. That said, if you're going to buy water at the store, consider getting purified water or distilled water, something that's gone through a reverse osmosis process if you can, or a distillation process. So distilled water looks like this. And you can get that for about $1 or $1.50 at your grocery store. And same for purified water. You should probably be able to find that. If you can't find it and you want to make your own, you can buy a Mega Home distiller, but it's about $200. So just bear that in mind. So put clean water into your body, whether you're making tea, coffee, adding some drops or tincture juices to your input. Clean water in, clean water out. Starbucks filters the water in their coffees like 4 times. So if you need to go out and get a glass of water somewhere, go to a Starbucks or any good coffee place and ask just for a free cup of water from their systems, because it's usually very, very clean. And in a pinch, it works very well, and they're usually nice enough to just give it to you if you bother to wait in line. Maybe tip the barista a little bit. But that said, put good water in. One more thing I wanted to talk to you about before I forget is that some people like to drink a little bit of kombucha. If you have never heard of kombucha, it's like a fermented tea. And it may have a little bit of acidity to it. It may have a little bit of fizz to it. Now you can buy it in the grocery store in some places. This is a Synergy brand. This is a cranberry tea. And this whole bottle has 60 calories, but it also has 16 grams of carbs. And 16 grams of those carbs come from sugars. Because in order to ferment the tea, you need to put some sugar in there for the bacteria to eat. It's the same way that they ferment wine. They're just doing tea. So this bottle isn't cheap though. It's like $6. No, $3 or $4, sorry. And I don't drink it all at once. This is all I had yesterday in 2 different sips. So I use it as more or less just like a supplement to get some probiotics introduced into my digestive system. Now people will, poo-poo that. It hasn't been scientifically tested, but if you're okay with just kind of going with trying something that gives good live cultures to your system, that's good. A lot of people get it through their yogurt, but since you're not eating yogurt, you need to find a way to keep those probiotics in your system. You can also take a probiotic supplement if that's important to you. This is just to help you find ways to not break your fast, because you're like, I need my probiotics. You can still drink them. Just make sure you get a brand that's clean, and homemade kombuchas can work if you know what you're doing, but it's also easy to infect them with an unclean brewing process. So you don't want to have kombuchas that are harmful to you. So I'd say let somebody who's a brewmaster know how to make the kombucha. Don't try that yourself. All right, that's all I got today. It's a bit of a longer video, but I wanted you guys to know about all that. All right.